Welcome all to the SnailTrail4x4 Podcast. If you like going off-roading in Toyotas, wrenching on Toyotas, camping in Toyotas, and maybe even poking a little bit of fun at Toyotas, and of course, hearing about how fantastic ignition modules are in Toyotas, then this is the podcast for you. That's right, ladies and germs. My name is Tyler, and joining me on episode 253 of the SnailTrail4x4 Podcast is Mr. Poofy Jacket himself, Mr. James Poofy Jacket Jet. How are you, Mr. Poofy Jacket Jet?
I am doing pooftastic.
That's great. Not pooptastic?
Not pooptastic.
Oh, that's good. That's, yeah. I don't touch those diapers.
I don't wear diapers.
Oh man, how's life, buddy?
It's good. Life's good. I am nowhere ready for the holiday season yet.
Oh yeah?
I bought two gifts.
Oh, I'm all set, man. I'm just waiting for them to come in. Yeah.
Oh man, I need to get there. I'm so far. It's like my parents have been asking me, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, I haven't even thought about that yet. And they're like, you need to figure it out. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. So
I'm supposed to have my list ready to go by the time we go up to the in-laws for Thanksgiving.
Got it.
So that I can hand it off or send it to him, email it to him, whatever, while we're there.
Yeah.
And that way the in-laws can peruse Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals or whatnot for stuff that's on my list.
That's a good idea. I did make a wish list on Amazon.
Oh yeah.
And so that's available for my family out there. Mm-hmm. You know, I send them the link or whatever, but
isn't that the one you put on your OnlyFans site too?
Yep. That one as well. Same. Okay. I mean, they're just linked together.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. We get half of my family done because we do a gift exchange at Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. And now it's like my immediate family. And I'm like, I haven't gotten to it. I haven't gotten around to it yet. So
yeah.
But speaking of gifts, we have one that we need to give away.
We do? Oh, we do. What are we giving away, Jimmy?
We're giving away a Factor 55 Pro Link in OD Green to one of our lucky patrons.
Yay. Who's that from?
It is from our good friend Dimitri over at Stellar Built. When we had him in here into the shop and we got talking to him, he brought us over a little gift that we're going to share with everybody else.
Yeah. So you guys can go back and check that out. I think it was episode 248.
Wasn't it 240? I think it was 240.
Oh, jeez. No. Yeah, you're right. That was that long ago. Okay. 240.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, go back, listen to that. It was good to hear and catch up with him and see everything he's up to, everything he's got going on over there at the new shop. So
yeah.
It's really
Did
impressive.
you see that the Trail Tacoma is down there at his new shop and he's getting the JD squared long travel kit put on it?
No.
Dude, it's going to be so sick. It's going to be so nice.
Nice.
I was looking at that kit and going like, I should get that. I want that. And then Brennan got it and I'm like, damn it.
Dang it, Brennan.
So now I guess I'm going to just do the Marlin or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the Marlin.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool, man. So, yeah, let's do a giveaway, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. We have a winner.
We're back.
We are back.
We totally forgot to do.
Shh. I was going to take that out in post-editing, Jimmy.
Okay, cool. We're back.
So, we're back. Wait, we just did.
But you could cut to there now.
There we go. Whatever. We have a winner for the giveaway.
And it is, drum roll, please. We don't have a drum roll button, do we?
We have like a bunch. It's not really a
drum roll.
No, that not works. That doesn't work.
Okay.
Who is it? I think this one's really cool.
It is none other than the Ultra 4 driver himself.
The future of Ultra 4.
The future of Ultra 4. Justin Wicks.
Mr. Wicks.
Magnificent bastard. I salute you.
Salute. Yeah, congrats, man. So Justin won the OD Green Flat Link. We'll see.
Pro Link.
Sorry, I do keep calling it Flat Link. You're right. So the Pro Link. And maybe we will have to engrave a snail on it so that it shows up on the car.
Yeah, that's what we should. I could figure that out. I'm
The
sure.
race car. Yeah, right.
We'll have we need to put a snail on his race car, and we're not talking about a turbo.
Yeah. Does he have one of those on that car?
Turbo?
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know
Anyways,
what he has under the hood.
congrats, Justin, for winning the Factor 55 Pro Link OD Green.
Yeah.
the limited edition. So thank you to Stellar Built for having that and bringing it over and letting us give it away to somebody. So now that one's over, we can announce December. So December is going to be a choice, a winner's choice.
Winner's choice.
Winner's choice. What are those two choices, Jimmy?
Yeah. You can have your choice of either a Morphlate quad,
Yeah, whatever.
Morphlate,
Your
whatever,
choice. Uh-huh.
or a snail armor, whatever, as long as you have a second gen or third gen Tacoma or a second gen Tundra.
Yep. And they can get it in whatever color they want as well, as long as it's black, right?
Exactly.
Perfect.
And if you really, really want to change the color, I'll be more than happy to rattle a can it for you.
Perfect. So yeah, we're going to have, you guys get the choice of Morphlate, and there's going to be some pretty cool stuff showing up from Morphlate here. I'm hoping by the end of the year, we'll see if the LA ports are going to
Start working.
again. But yeah, we have the new compressors with some changes made. I actually got the final production samples in, and we were taking a look at them earlier.
Yes, looks nice.
So I'm really happy with the changes that we've done on them and the factory has pulled off. So those I'm hoping should be in by the end of the year, a small batch, maybe first, second week of January. And we also have some other goodies that I'm getting lined up for Morphlate, which I'm being very secretive about. So, yeah, you'll get a choice of essentially whatever you want from Morphlate there. So
Cool. I want your valve stem covers.
My valve stem covers?
Yeah.
Okay. $100 worth of them?
No, I just want 4.
Just 4 of them.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
this could be up, like what's Morphlate retail for? 220, 200?
The regular quad with the built-in gauge is 205.
205.
The quad plus is 225. And then the mega quad is 245.
Yeah.
So.
And then snail armors are $200 or $260.
Yep.
So good choices.
Yeah. So good options for you guys out there. So good luck. And then I think we're going to be talking a little bit about this on Monday. But so we'll just kind of mention it a little bit here. We will be opening up the annual subscriptions on Patreon starting in January.
Yep.
So we talked a little bit about that in the past, about why we haven't opened that up yet. And we're going to dive into a little bit more on Monday because we have a little bit more time to do that on Monday. So let's see, what else do we got here? We have some voicemails.
Yes. We also have the Gearwrench Giveaway.
Yeah.
For the Gearwrench and King of the Hammers, which we actually just received a phone call.
Yes, we did.
Just literally before we were sitting down to start recording this.
Yep.
And Gearwrench Corey called us, and luckily he called right as Tyler's phone was paired to the to the board because we were going to do the voicemails.
Yep.
But he told us, stop promoting.
Yeah.
And we said no.
But not going to happen.
But more or less, it sounds like the vast majority of Home Depots are pretty much sold out of everything that is required to enter the Gearwrench KOH giveaway. So it also sounds like it's a limited entry. Like, okay, it's sold out, and these are really only people that were going to be getting into it. So if you have a Home Depot near you, I would probably go out there and find, see if there's anything left, because it sounds like there's not a whole lot of people in.
Yeah, it sounds like there's not a whole lot of kits left at Home Depot, and there hasn't been a ton of entries either.
Right.
So if you can still find kits, one of those toolkits at a Home Depot, I would highly recommend getting one and submitting it to Gearwrench, because your chances are going to be very high of either winning the VIP trip or winning $1,000 in Gearwrench tools, or winning a
year supply of
Monster energy drink. So it doesn't sound like there's been a ton of entries yet but the supplies are no longer available to enter with.
Yeah.
So,
and they're not cut off. The final date is still December 31st.
Yep.
So if you do happen to find something at a Home Depot, I would highly suggest grabbing it and getting it and submitting something to Gearwrench, and make sure to submit something to us.
Yes. Yep, I 100% agree. I might actually go around and scrounge through my local Home Depots now since there's that many limited entries now, essentially. So
exactly.
Yeah, cool. So that's the update there on the Gearwrench front for the big giveaway they're doing at the year end here and getting ready and gearing up for King of the Hammers. So now we have a few voicemails.
Bring it on.
All right, so this one is from Unknown.
Thanks, Unknown.
Yeah, it's a great name.
What area code?
It doesn't even give me a phone number, so they blocked
just
the
says
phone
unknown.
number.
Oh, it's probably Chris.
Maybe. Let's see. All right, here we go.
Yes, I just want to say that I usually listen to your show at 1.5 times speed, but this time, for whatever reason, it played at regular speed, and you guys sounded like you were stoned. Stoned. Anyway, bye.
Okay.
I don't know what the reference is there.
I don't either. All right, on to the next one.
We have a trivia game that we play after dinner. We just pull after whoever finishes first dinner gets to read the trivia card.
Okay.
And the trivia question yesterday's was, what California brewery has a stone gargoyle on their label?
I don't know.
And it's Stoned Brewery or Stone Brewery.
Stone Brewery?
Yeah.
Nice. Maybe that's what he's referring. I don't know.
That's what it made my mind run to. But anyways,
Chris, what goes on in that head of yours?
Nobody knows.
No one knows. All right, the next one is from our local vegetarian, who we called out for being a vegetarian in the last episode.
This is going to be good.
Let's see what Donald has to say here.
Yeah, vegetarian. I'm totally a vegetarian. I just prefer my salad pre-digested by the cow first, that's all. Sick man calling me a vegetarian. You're going to make me go hang out with Chris and, maybe Jason, but he's a little sketchy now that he's not drinking. But, all the same, vegetarian. What are you thinking?
He never actually explicitly denied being a vegetarian in that voicemail.
Not necessarily, no. He just said vegetarian a bunch of times.
Yeah. I think that just makes him a vegetarian.
Probably.
And more proof that nobody likes sober Jason. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, on the most recent their podcast that came out this week, he said that he is now moving his drinking date forward a day to the 24th.
The 24th. Yeah. I would move it to the winter solstice. That's the best time to do drinking.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Either winter or summer solstice. What better opportunity to have to drink than the shortest day or the longest day of the year? Come on.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I'm usually out at Camp Lotus during the summer solstice.
That's true.
Drinking.
So you're probably drinking the whole time anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. So cool. Those are the voicemails. Thank you guys for calling in.
Thank you,
Chris.
Mr. Stoned and Mr. Vegetarian.
Is that similar to Mr. Noid?
Yes.
Mr. Noid?
Yes.
Avoid the Noid?
Avoid the Noid.
Oh, man. So cool. Mr. Vegetarian and Mr. Noid, or Mr. Stoned, who called in this time, whatever his name is. Let's see. We have some reviews. Let's go all the way back here to... We're not really falling behind. It's just there's a lot of reviews here, which is awesome because that means that a lot of people are getting entered for what, Jimmy?
The King of the Hammers Gearwrench Giveaway?
No, you failed. You're fired. They're entering to win a winch and some swag packs.
That's right.
So at 350 reviews, 400 and 450 reviews, we'll be doing some pretty awesome swag packs for everybody who has left a review up until that point, which means if you've been able to find ways to leave multiple reviews, you have multiple entries for swag packs. And then once we get to 500 reviews, what are we giving away, sir?
A winch.
Yes, sir. It's a 9,000 pound winch from Rough Country.
Nice.
So Yeah, we'll be doing those at 500 reviews. So make sure that you're in. You're not 501 or 502 or 503 because you're not going to get entered.
No.
So make sure you guys get in for that. You can have unlimited entries, literally. You can have as many as you want. There's a few people that are up to 4 and 5 entries now.
That's impressive.
Right? They're essentially getting a 1 in 100 chance.
Yeah.
Of winning, which is pretty cool. So this one, first review for today is 5 stars. Says, my husband listens to this podcast all the time and therefore I have to listen to it too.
You're welcome.
Yeah, exactly. I can tell she's so excited. It's a good podcast and he enjoys when I ask him a million questions and can tell when I'm listening from a distance. And that's from Ashley.
Thanks, Ashley.
Thanks, Ashley. Next.
Does listening from a distance equate to also sort of listening?
Kind of. Yeah. Sure. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Just a thought.
Okay. Shower thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Next one is from E Shoots.
Hey, E Shoots.
It says pretty good. 4 stars.
Cool.
Yeah. It says, I'm mostly here for the info and 4x4 knowledge. Sometimes there is good knowledge. Depends on the episode. No offense to Tyler, but your laugh isn't a good radio laugh. We've been over this. I don't have a good radio voice. So I'm not disappointed in that review.
That's true.
Yeah. Bad. What is it? Bad feedback is better than no feedback. Or, yeah, that's true. At least I'm being talked about.
Any sort of content is public or beneficial content in a way.
Yeah. As long as I'm being talked about, I don't care what you say about me.
Yeah.
Next one is from Nick347, and last one for today. It says, love it, 5 stars. I'm a huge fan of Toyotas and recently discovered the podcast. Fan of the show. Love the tech talk. I want to upgrade my 2nd gen.
Nice. Do it.
Yep. Do it.
2nd gen, I'm assuming Tacoma.
Definitely a 4Runner. 100%.
Might be a 2nd gen pickup, like an 85.
2nd gen Tundra.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's a 2nd gen Stout.
Did they make a 2nd gen Stout?
I have no idea. I don't think so.
Okay.
2nd gen Corolla.
Yeah. Those he can definitely upgrade those. Those would be, I really want to.
Dude, a 1976 Corollas are badass looking.
1976? Mm-hmm. Corolla? I don't know if I've seen one of those.
Yeah. They're cool.
I'm not all hip on the older
like
car
the
scene.
old school JTs.
Uh-huh.
They're sick. Yeah.
Nice. So that does it for the reviews for today.
If they move the smog law, then I would probably get one of those.
76 Corolla?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. More than your Stout or your 2002 BMW?
No, I would definitely. If I had the choice between the Corolla or the Beamer, I'd get the Beamer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to BMW Jeep and Jimmy.
Yeah. They just have to be from the 70s.
There you go. Yeah, 70s Beamers. Cool, man. So let's get into what we've been up to, because we have some things to talk about. We didn't really have time to talk about it all in the last Thursday's episode. So we have some catching up to do from that. And then we've been up to some other stuff.
No good.
So what did we do a couple weekends ago?
So this Saturday coming up is a Toyota meetup.
Wait, what? Another one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what we did a few Saturdays ago.
Yeah, we did that like 2 Saturdays in a row now.
Kind of. Yeah, actually. And this upcoming Saturday.
Yeah, I'm not going to be at the upcoming one though, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're doing a meet and coffee and trucks event out at Sunrise Mall.
Yep. And that's going to be with Tacoma and 4Runner Powered.
Tacoma, 4Runner Powered, and I believe it's also being hosted by Wander Taco.
Oh, Wander Taco is going to be out there?
Yeah.
Well, now I'm going to go.
Yeah.
So
he's a good guy.
He is a good dude.
They're having an event this upcoming Saturday. So if you're not doing anything in the morning, I think it starts at 8 out at the mall. For who? Me? Yes. So out at Sunrise Mall. For more information, you could always check out Tacoma Powered or Wander Taco's pages. But 2 Saturdays ago, we went down to Banff, Bay Area Metal Fab. Oh, great name, by the way.
Yeah.
And we went and hung out with Tacoma Powered and 4RUNNER Powered as they ran another small, sort of small,
not really
small meetup down at Banff.
Yep.
That's what we did.
Yeah, it was fun. We met up over at the causeway, essentially off the causeway.
Yeah, I've never been down there.
I haven't either. And so that was interesting going down there. And I pulled up in the F-150 and people were looking at me like I shouldn't be there.
Well, that's true.
I was getting some stares and glares.
Yeah.
And so we left from there and drove in a really big group of, I don't know, 70 vehicles, 60, 70 rigs from there all the way out to Benicia, California, which is all the way down Highway 80. And I ended up I started in the back 3/4.
More than that.
Yeah.
We were like 7/8.
7/8 in the back of the pack.
Yeah, we were way at the back.
Yeah. And so we started off way back there, and on the freeway, it was like just having that many trucks in a line was holding up and slowing down all the traffic on the freeway.
It really was.
And so the freeway, typically that stretch of freeway travels at about 70 to 75 miles an hour. I think it was doing like 60.
Yeah, it was going slow.
It was going really slow. And so you and me ended up goofing off.
No.
No,
us?
And we ended up hopscotching each other up the line until we got out to the very front.
Yeah, I realized at first we kept jumping up and moving up in line and kind of going in the fast lane and moving back over to the slow line and getting into line. And then I went to do that one more time and I was like, oh, I just passed the leader.
Yeah, right.
Whoops.
Oh, look, there goes one.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, there's the other one. Yeah. So yeah, that was fun. Getting through there. We almost died getting off the off ramp.
You almost
getting
died.
into Benicia. I almost died. Yeah.
Well, you were exiting and then a semi decided to exit and turn it off of the freeway late.
Yeah, late
into you.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I pretty much drove off the road.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think pretty much all but one tire, maybe. Yeah. What evasive maneuvers.
Yeah.
Over here, just veering around the truck as it's trying to get itself out of there. But
yeah. So that was interesting. Showed up at Bay Area Metal Fab. Jerry, the owner, was hanging outside waiting for everybody. And I pulled up and was like, hey, everybody else is 5-10 minutes behind us. And so he goes, okay, cool. Come in, set up here. I was setting up for Morphlate. You were setting up for Snail Armor.
Yep.
And
I'm glad we jumped ahead for that reason, because we probably would have pulled in and been like, okay, where can we set up? And all the front spaces would have been taken.
They would have been taken for sure. So yeah, I'm really glad we did that. Pretty soon after we pulled in, everybody else showed up. And there was quite a few rigs. They filled up the Bay Area Metal Fab parking lot. There was a parking lot across the street, filled up parking on the street. There's a parking lot kind of right next to Banff that got filled up, and then another 2 parking lots on the other side of the street got filled up as well. So it was very interesting to see how many rigs showed up throughout the day, see the rigs that did show up, get to kind of walk around them and look around them. We had a couple of listeners out there that we got to check out their rigs, which was pretty neat, and say hi to them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to start
naming names
because then you always forget somebody.
I know. But you know who you are.
You guys know who you are. After seeing the FJ80, the Land Cruiser that got repainted. Yeah. That's the color I want to do Kermit.
That's a nice color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's sort of a olive forest green. I don't know how you kind of claim that.
It looks like a dark green, but when the sun hits it in just that one little spot, it's like a bright green in that spot and then fades out to dark green. Yeah. It's really cool how it was done. So that's the color I'm going to do Kermit eventually.
Nick did that twice.
I talked to him about the process of doing all that. And I was like, okay, so what should I do in the future to learn from your mistakes? And so we kind of went through it and he gave me some tips and advice. So
did he say just go straight and get a paint gun?
Yeah.
And not do rattle cans?
Yep. Yep. So that's going to be the goal, except I want to try and do it in a way, but still have it bed linered. So rather than a smooth, glossy finish that he has, I want to have it a bed liner finish.
The whole rig?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see. I need to get other stuff done on Kermit first before I get to that point.
Yeah. Like a T case.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. So anyways, I had a good time at Banff.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. This was the first Tacoma Powered meetup I've been able to get out to. And so
Really?
it was, I haven't been to any of them before. I've gone on a...
That makes sense, actually.
I've been on a snow trip with them.
Yeah.
But I haven't been to a meetup yet that they've done. And so it was fun. It was fun to see all the rigs, see all the people, hang out. They had a taco truck there, and which I was supposed to get lunch for somebody and totally forgot.
Asshole.
My bad.
All you ever do is care for yourself.
I felt so bad. I literally turned around and walked away from the order window and then went, shit, I forgot to order for Jimmy. And then I turned around, there's a line of 20 people behind me. And I was like, do you think they would be upset if I jumped back in line and ordered again? And I was like, oh, I don't want to piss them off. So
When I walked over there was one person in line.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't feel so bad now.
Yeah. I mean, 100.
100 people in line. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a good time. There are a lot of good rigs out there. I parked next to Bronco. It was a new Bronco, one of the first edition ones. And he was actually there at that show. And then he left to go to another show that day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So I asked him questions about his Bronco, and he comes from the Go Fast scene, the car scene kind of thing. And so he was like, I'm really disappointed in the engine performance of the Bronco. And I was like, really? I've heard otherwise. And he goes, yeah, it's nothing compared to a 500 horsepower V8. And I'm like, well yeah. Duh. You can't expect a 2.7 liter V6 to perform like a 500 horsepower V8, dude. So anyways, that was fun talking to him about the Bronco for a little bit and seeing everything that he's done to it. He's put a bunch of pretty pennies into it already.
Oh, I bet.
So
people are upgrading those like crazy already.
Yeah. It was impressive. And he has 2 hard tops.
Oh, you told me about this.
Yeah. So he was there at the show with a soft top on it from Best Top. And he goes, yeah, I've got 2 hard tops at home. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, this was a hard top first edition. And so when I got the hard top, Ford contacted me and said there was a recall on the hard tops and that they would send me a new hard top, like a good one. And so they did. So I've got 2 hard tops sitting in my backyard. And I was like,
wow,
you asshole.
Speaking of that, in a way, so there was a recall because what was the reason? Water ingression?
I think so. Ingress. Water
Thank
ingress,
you.
Yeah.
So I got a recall on my Tacoma.
Oh yeah, for that third brake light, right?
I
Yeah.
was thinking, no, I haven't done anything with it. I was thinking about taking it over to Toyota when we were there the other weekend, but we'll talk about that part a little later, but I didn't.
Okay.
I haven't gotten it fixed yet or had it looked at.
Gotcha.
But from what I can tell, I don't have any water on the inside. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've got 5 recalls on the F-150.
Holy cow.
I need to go and take care of at some point.
Yeah.
I keep putting it off, but
I don't know. Maybe I'll have an extra truck laying around here in a little bit and I can go and take it in while I drive another vehicle.
There you go. Yeah. So I don't know. What was your take on the whole day?
The event?
Yeah.
I thought it was good. Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't get nearly as many sales as I had in the past. Mm-hmm. I think mainly for the most part because a lot of that crowd has already sort of bought my stuff. Mm-hmm. And they sort of all keep coming out and, supporting each other. And they've already purchased some panels from me. Mm-hmm. So besides that, the day was good. It was good. Great to see people, to talk to people and look over rigs. And one of the things I like about those, especially because I have a Tacoma, is I get to walk around and go, what wheels do I think look good on these trucks? Or what bumper do I think looks good on this truck? And so I can kind of pick and choose by what other people have done.
Yeah, it's a
about
shopping catalog.
what I want. Yeah, in a way, what I want to do to my truck. So I think that I have some good ideas about how I want to build the truck, but I really don't know what the purpose of the truck's going to be yet. So
Gotcha.
I think it's going to be more of an overlander in a basic use kind of vehicle.
With an eco box?
Yeah, well, I was out at Folsom Lake months, like a year ago, probably now, whenever I started doing those put 33s on your truck.
Okay.
And I tried to drive up a hill and I kept stalling the thing out because I'm just not used to like how much power you need to put into it to drive it up a hill.
Gotcha.
I wanted to drive up and have more control. And so I think if I do any slightly aggressive wheeling, it'd just be nice to have a little bit lower gears.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I think like if I ever got, like, let's say I built Becky and made Becky running, right? The 1988 Toyota truck.
Okay.
I think I would put double stock dual cases in it.
2.28s?
Yeah, stock 2.28s. Because if there was ever, when I had Lloyd and I went out and drove Lloyd and I did some fire roads on Lloyd, I felt that even in my low gear, I felt I was too high for some trails.
Huh. Okay.
So, I think if you just have that option of going lower, it's not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure with...
You wouldn't just do like a single 4.7?
No, because I think there's times when you might want...
You want the 2.2?
Might want to... Yeah, why? I mean, it could be six one way, half a dozen the other, that route. I think if you just add the dual, a second T case, you have more versatility or variety of gears.
Yeah, you do.
So...
Okay.
Instead of just going, like, say you're on the freeway and it's snowing outside and traffic is going slow. You could pop it into the 2.28 and just idle along. Yeah. But you wouldn't want to drop it into the 4.7.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a shitty example, but it kind of gets the point across.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I think for the Tacoma, I'm just going to stick around 33s, maybe 34s. I don't know how large I'm going to go, because if I go up to 37s or larger, then now I'm competing with Bobcat status, and it's kind of pointless in a way.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, that's fair. So you like looking at using those meetups as a shopping catalogs.
Yep. I like to wander around and see what I might want to add.
Nice. I just thought it was fun. I love wandering around looking at the older vehicles because all the Tacomas, they're all the same to me.
Yeah.
Like they all have the same.
They all look very similar.
They're all very similar. In order to do anything to it, you're doing the same thing. You're bolting something on or off the rig, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like the older vehicles, there's not a whole lot of bolt-on application stuff. You have to kind of engineer and figure stuff out yourself.
You have to fabricate it.
And it's really interesting to me to see how people engineer and fabricate stuff. And what options did they choose to solve this particular problem, right? And so there was a couple of older rigs there that had some 3/4 swaps. And so I was looking through and just kind of comparing notes as to how they set up and routed some of their stuff for their 3/4 swaps. So that was fun for me. Moreflate did great out there. I was impressed with the I don't want to say the activity we got, but the activity we got at the booth. A lot of people asking questions and coming over and saying hi. But what the highlight of that trip for me was getting to go check out Jerry's laser.
Oh yeah. Well, I think to some extent me as well. I liked really at the end of the event, like 97% of the people have left.
Yeah.
And then I asked Jerry to give me a quick tour. Like, can you give me a 5-minute tour of your shop? Because I knew he was busy. Yep. And he's like, yeah, okay. And so he just walked over and he started showing us this like bar feeder. And then 2 or 3, 4 more, like 5, 6, I don't know how many. There was like 10 of us total. We're there and going, wow, that's cool. And he's like, well, since you're all in here, why don't I just give you the full tour? Yeah. And so he walked us around and he showed us, the bar feeder that cuts tubing to how can notch it and cut it. And then he led us down to the welding areas. And then he took us down to his new laser.
Yeah. And the laser was really neat because it takes 15 by 10 sheets. How big are the sheets?
I think they're 5 by 10.
5 by 10. That makes more sense. 5 by 10 sheets, and you just literally load up a stack of sheets. And he said he can load up 200 to 300 sheets on there, something like that.
It was a lot.
And it's got
probably 200 to 300 very thin ones.
Yeah, right. But it has a whole rack that comes over with a ton of suction cups on it. And it comes down and suctions the top sheet off of the stack, picks it up,
and it sucks it with air, right? It just it pulls the air out. And it's crazy.
carries it over to the laser cutting spot, drops it down, sets it down on the laser cutting table, and then the laser goes through, and it's a CNC laser, and cuts out everything out of that. And then it will separate, like the table was slotted, and so it would separate and pick up all the parts, the cutouts, and then rotate it underneath the stack of sheets and drop all the parts into a tray, and then pick up the cutout, I guess, the leftover, the trash part of the sheet, and remove it from the tray as well. The laser,
it has two different areas for finished goods and waste. Yeah.
And so he said he can literally load that thing up, plug in the program, whatever it is, and cut parts labor free.
Yeah, all weekend long.
Yeah, all over the weekend. He starts it on Friday, comes back in Monday morning, and has parts all set, ready to go.
Yeah, that's really cool. I don't quite understand how it separates parts. Yeah. But, because a lot of times, where the part is cut out isn't open to the side. So I don't know I'm not sure how it all works.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I wish we could have gotten a demonstration of, cutting a whole sheet and then seeing how it separated them. Yeah. But it definitely had two different locations for the trash versus the finished products that got cut out. So
yeah, it's a massive laser.
Yeah.
It was huge.
Yep. Do you remember how much he said it costs?
I don't. It was in a mil.
Just under $1 million, between 900,000 and $1 million.
Jeez. Yeah. And then we walked to the other side of the shop, and that's where they do powder coating and all different other things in the shipping area.
Yep. Yeah, so shipping and powder coating was on the other side of the shop, and that was really interesting. He's got a smaller oven set up, and he's working on setting up another oven that he's converting from electric to gas. But that other oven will allow him to do essentially full vehicles. Like you can almost throw a whole chassis in there.
Yeah.
But he'll be able to do chassis, full bed racks. I mean, it won't just be limited to...
Right. Well, and that's good for him because he does a lot of bumpers and sliders and skid plates, and those are big. And with his old oven, you could probably fit like a bumper in. And now he will be able to get like 6 to 8, inside of the new oven, which is going to be really nice. He also does a really interesting powder coating. Because I know from powder coating my parts for Snail Armor that, powder coating is roughly 3 mils thick. His are like 8 to 10.
Yeah.
Right. And he has some weird rubberized bed mat powder coat thing that makes it sort of tacky. Like it adheres to the metal.
Yeah.
But it's not hard. It's sort of like a rubber paint. I'm not quite sure how he does it or what it is. But so his are it's not just a powder coat finish. It's like this bed tacky mat that gets onto the bumpers and makes it thick and more durable, which is kind of neat.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really cool checking out the processes that they use and the equipment that he has there. So really neat guy. Jerry is, he's been doing this for a while. He's good at it. And, I just foresee him growing bigger and bigger. So
yeah, I don't know. We need to have him on the podcast because there's a story there and I'm not completely sure about how the whole circle of the story goes, but something happened with P-Free-Built. Do you know who P-Free-Built?
Okay.
When they bought a bunch of people ordered stuff from them and then they fled the country. Right.
Okay.
He somehow got either their plans or he got something from P-Free-Built and told all the customers, I'll build your stuff for you.
Nice.
Yeah. And I don't know the complete story or how everything worked out, but that's one of the ways that he's really built his name.
Okay.
And I was talking to him he was at Overland Expo West.
Okay.
And I was talking to him and he was saying that, when that whole situation happened, he felt so upset at that company that he really wanted it. He was like, if I could have given them free bumpers, I would have, but I can't. I can't do that. I can't eat that cost for however many people that was, so I know that he was like, I was there trying to help them out.
Yeah.
You guys bought something, the owner of that company fled and screwed you all over.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, help you out one way or another.
Yeah.
And so it was really kind of interesting to hear him tell that story. But yeah, we should have him on so he can clarify how that all went down.
Yeah, that'd be really neat. I had never heard how he got started or anything. I just started hearing the Bay Area Metal Fab name in the past 6 months.
Oh yeah.
So
that's where Amber Turner worked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Amber worked it down there for a bunch of years. And did you see me holding a pink bag of powder coat?
No.
So supposedly that was Amber's pink powder coat because she used to do some of the powder coating and wanted everything in that bright pink.
Okay.
And it's been there ever since she worked there because she left there to go work for Mr. King of the Hammer himself.
Oh, yeah. The king. Okay. Cool. So, yeah, that was that event. That was last Saturday.
Yeah.
Let's see.
No, 2 Saturdays ago.
2 Saturdays ago. And then we did another one this last Saturday.
Yeah, with lady-owned Toyotas.
Yep, lady-owned Toyotas.
We met at Meta Toyota here in Sacramento, and they were doing a toy drive.
Yeah.
And so we went out to the toy drive and brought some toys and got some raffle tickets and hung out for a little while. And Morphlate was out there for that one. And Snail Armor was not. SnailTrail4x4 was just wandering around and talking to people. Yeah, so, and the assistant and secretary were out there.
Yeah.
So I was glad that the secretary was out there because then the assistant didn't have to hang out with me the whole time.
Yeah.
As much as I love having her come out to the events, I don't like having somebody at my hip.
Yeah. Especially somebody at your hip who's just rolling their eyes and trying to get you to stop talking to everybody.
Right.
I don't want to hear about truck talk.
Yes, exactly.
So anyways, that was a really fun event. I learned afterwards, I was talking with a couple of the ladies that the
ones that own Toyotas?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was talking to a couple of them and they said that it is pretty much a national organization now. And the person that was running kind of the quote unquote Sacramento chapter, the Sacramento area, up and left. Like she moved to Colorado or something.
Oh, really?
And so the event kind of got dropped on the ladies that were running it this time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they didn't have a lot of time to prepare for it or get it up and running and go and get it going. So it was fun talking with them and kind of hearing about how that all happened. And yeah.
So there was the 2 ladies that were there that were running the show this time. And I guess there's another lady that helps, that also works for the Sacramento chapter. I don't know what they call themselves. Did you hear that lady has got COVID and has been in the hospital since August and has had 10 surgeries since?
Oh my God. No.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. How nuts is that?
Wow.
So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But that's freaking crazy. And that's a weird, like, you don't ever hear that.
No.
So,
wow.
Yeah, I don't know the gist. I heard that she said that she got COVID, went to the hospital, and has been in the hospital since.
Jesus Christ.
For whatever reasons that happened. But yeah, that's nuts. That is nuts. But yeah, I didn't really know that it was national. Like lady-owned Toyotas was so big and how it was, sort of chapterized by some cities and people can sort of run an operation out of the area. Yeah, I asked them if they had plans to be at Cruise Moab in 2022 since it's the 50th year. And they were like, we didn't, but now that you mention it, we may. And I was like, cool. Well, they probably will get the Utah chapter or whatever to do it. Yeah. So that was a really fun event. It was. And like you were saying, I think because it was so rushed, it seemed low key. There was actually quite a few rigs out there, maybe 50. Yeah. Or something. That's a good number. Yeah. And some well-built rigs and some stock rigs. And it was cool because I didn't know it, but they had like a competition for best dressed rig. And our buddy Chris won. And so that was kind of cool. And then I was one of the judges. Oh, were you? Oh, that's funny. I didn't even know that happened. That's funny. But I think there's some great potential to make that a little larger and bigger. I know that the toy drive we went down with when Truck Norris invited us for the Hella Trails. I mean, that one was like threefold the one this one was. Yeah, that was massive. Yeah. Also, that parking lot that the lady-owned Toyota's event was at would be a good opportunity for a truck meetup, I think. Oh, 100%. Especially since there's no cars. The dealerships don't have cars right now. Yeah. I went over and had to use Meta Toyota's restroom. And so while I was in there, I tried to find a sales manager to talk to about, or the general manager, somebody
to talk to about, what's going on with the new Tundra, seeing if they had any other insight as to if, the new Tacomas and 4Runners, are they going to be done in 2023 or what's going on with that? Are they going to get the P2 hybrids? And essentially they didn't have a lot of information.
No.
But while I was walking over there was like 2 new cars on the lot, and that was it. And then there was 30, 40 used cars.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
That's all they had there. And I was like, man, this is a great parking lot for meetups when there's nothing going on.
Yeah. That was the used car lot.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was empty.
Yeah.
So, but you did talk to somebody and you got a name.
I did. I got the name of the general service manager, general sales manager, service manager. I think it was sales manager. So they said that he loves sitting down and talking to people about stuff like that. He said that all of their marketing advertising people, it's a firm that they outsource it all to, so they have no control over it. But he said that if we wanted to sit down and talk with them about Toyota stuff, Toyota vehicles, what's coming up for Toyota, blah, 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 they would totally do it. They would love to do it. And he said that they might give us an inside scoop on Tundras whenever they get one.
Nice.
So
sounds good. Also, on a somewhat parallel note of that, I got an email address for one of the people that runs Toyota Untold, the Toyota podcast.
Nice.
So we might be able to get some more insider information that way. That'd
be really cool. Nice. So yeah, it was that was another good event and a good productive weekend.
Yes.
Some good networking going on. My favorite rig there was the first gen 4Runner with the TDI swap and the 3-link in the front and the leaf springs in the rear still.
Yeah.
So
that was cool. It was fun kind of chatting with that guy for a little bit, and I give full respect to that build. But when you go, oh, how did you clear it with DMV? He goes, I don't know. The previous guy did it. I'm like, well, it doesn't, thanks, but doesn't help me.
Yeah. So, after that, so this week, I went over to Valley Hybrids.
Yes.
And got to
Where is that?
It's down in Stockton.
Oh, okay.
So Stockton, it's about a 45-minute drive from the studio here, maybe 50-minute drive from the studio.
Cool.
And but I got to go down and talk to George Esther. And George Esther is a legend in the Land Cruiser scene. He takes Land Cruisers and does anything and everything to them. And so mostly he works on older stuff. Sometimes he'll work on 80s or 100 series, but a lot of times he's working on FJ40s, 45s, and 60s.
45s?
Mm-hmm. Ooh. He had a couple of 45s there in the shop, and I was like, oh my God. Like, we're walking through the shop to go back and get a third member, and it's like all the way in the back of his property, right?
His third member?
Yeah, it technically was. And I eventually got lost from him because I was sitting there and I would stop and look at all the vehicles, and he goes, oh, it's back here. And I was like, I'm sorry. You have too much eye candy in here. He goes, I know. But I was talking with him, and he said that you used to be able to, if you did a TDI swap or a Toyota diesel swap, like that 3-liter diesel that's used everywhere else in the world, if you did that swap, you used to be able to just go into the DMV and do a, what is it called? It's not a change of fuel. It's a change of propulsion. I don't remember how exactly it's worded, but it's like a $40 to $50 form that you fill out and pay the $40 to $50 processing fee for.
Wow.
And the DMV will change how your vehicle is powered, whether it's gas, diesel, or electric.
Oh, cool.
And so I'm pretty sure that's what this first gen 4Runner had gone through.
Yeah.
Was it went in and it got a change of mode of whatever it is.
And you can't do that anymore?
I don't think you can. Well, you can, but they're requiring it to be refereed now.
Okay.
So you can go and do it, but the referee has to look over the change. So it's just a lot more involved than just going in and saying, hey, my vehicle's a diesel now.
I remember a while ago, I was talking to our engine buddy, Ryan, and our battery buddy. I don't know which one we should go with. Yeah. I was talking to Ryan, and because he knew a lot about how to get things kind of into the DMV or through the DOT system or DOT system. I don't know what you call it, whatever.
The bar,
carb. Thank you.
Bar and carb.
That's what I was looking for. and I was looking at a 4-door OBS Ford truck that, but it was gasoline.
Okay.
And I was like, can I buy that and put my diesel motor into it?
Yeah.
And he was like, no. You can't do that. I'm like, it's the same thing.
It's the same truck.
Same truck.
Came with a 7.3.
It came with a diesel in it. This one just says that I have it. And he was like, no, it's like impossible to get through. I'm like,
bummer.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean,
yeah, I'm not sure.
There's so many loopholes, or not.
Yeah.
There's so many crooks and crevices. I think
Yeah.
that there's a way to get almost anything done. It's just a matter of how due diligent do you want to be to get it through the system.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so it was fun talking to George, hanging out with him for a little bit.
Yeah, that's cool.
He's got a really long history as well.
I'm sure he does.
And very well connected in the Land Cruiser and the Toyota industry in general. So he said that he's down to come on the podcast at some point.
Cool.
So we'll have him on after we get through January, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, George is really neat guy.
You can't step on Lee's toes too much.
I know, right? I don't care if I'm getting the opportunity to interview George, we're taking it.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, Lee.
Lee, you better step your game up.
Yeah. So yeah, I got to see George picked up a third member for an 8-inch high pinion out of an FJ80. And so that is going to get used in Gearwrench Corey's axle. And that's pretty much the last piece of the puzzle we need to put Corey's axle together finally.
Cool.
We ended up having to cancel our order with Nitro.
Yeah.
Because we ordered a third member from them at the beginning of January and it's still not here. Turns out everything is just completely messed up on their back end and the transition when DPI bought them. And Carl Montoya, who we got to interview, is now retired. DPI bought it and he retired. And so it is now a completely different company. And I don't know what the hell they got going on, but we ended up having to cancel and refund our order. So,
yeah.
But Dimitri over at Stellar Built has stepped up and he's going to help out a lot with getting the parts together for the leftovers.
He had a lot of the parts already, right? Some of the parts you just needed the actual housing.
We just need the third member itself.
Yeah. And so George had that at Valley Hybrids.
Yep.
Valley Cruiser, Valley Hybrids.
Yeah.
And so you went down there, you got the third member, and then you're bringing it. Eventually, you're going to take that to Dimitri.
Yep.
And then he's going to build the third member for you, and then you're taking that back, and then you're going to start putting together an axle.
Yep.
Cool.
Exactly. Yep. So I have the third member right now. It came complete with the ring gear. There's a carrier, an open carrier inside it. The bearing caps and bearings and everything's all there. So I need to tear it down and clean it, and then get it over to Dimitri. Had him put it together. Get it back, and then I'll start assembling and putting together.
Is it an E-locker?
What the plan is, the plan is to put an E-locker in it. So we're going to do an Eaton 8-inch.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah. So that'll go together. Once that's together, then we can start ripping apart Corey's 3rd gen 4Runner to do a solid axle on it and link it. So that'll be a lot of fun.
That'll be a good time. You know, I think it was Hustle Nuts and I were talking about the difference between the Eaton E-locker, maybe it was you, and the Toyota E-locker, and how the Eaton E-locker is on the inside of the third member.
Yep, everything's on the inside.
And the Toyota one's external, right? And so in a way, I've been second guessing myself on the Samantha build about I should have done Eaton E-lockers front and rear.
Yeah.
Because if I blow up my ring and pinion, I can just swap in any old third member,
8-inch third member.
Yeah. Where now I have a hole cut into my housing where you can't. I mean,
well, if you drive slow, no oil's going to come out of the hole too much.
No,
it's high, kind of.
There's there is probably an amount of duct tape that can hold that in.
Yeah,
but you know, the fact that the Eaton one is internal, and then I don't have to modify things. You know, there's something to be said for that.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I agree. That was one thing I didn't realize. I always thought that the Eaton E-locker was the similar design to the Toyota E-locker, and that's, you know, some of the actuators on the outside of the third member. And I didn't realize it until about 2 weeks ago. Yeah. That it's all internal, and all you need to do is run a bulkhead fitting to get the wires out of there. So you have a load and a ground, and you close it to close the circuit or electrify it.
Yeah, right.
to engage the locker. So I was like, oh, well, fuck.
Yeah, it's a much cleaner, easier package.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if I were to do e-lockers on Toyota mini truck axles or ones with third members, I would be going that route next time for sure.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, we've got that plans now, back moving again, which is nice.
Yeah, after 11 months of hiatus.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Otherwise, we have everything else for his build, so it should be able to go together pretty smoothly and quickly from here on out.
Nice.
You got to go play with 4Runner Dave and his truck.
Yeah.
What was going on there?
Yeah. So 4Runner Dave was he swapped out some axles.
Yes, he did.
He took off mini truck axles and threw on Land Cruiser axles. And I don't know when in the process of doing that, but the truck was outside and it was idling, and then all of a sudden it turned itself off.
Yeah.
And so Dave started running down the rabbit hole of fuel. Until he used the starter to move the truck from outside into his shop. And he said he went through, he had to jump the truck, like charge the truck twice, the battery. He said, now it's probably time for a new battery.
Yeah.
But once he got the truck into the shop, he said he smelt fuel.
Oh.
So then I said, spark.
Yep.
Are you getting spark? Because if you're getting fuel, you know, there's only a few things that are needed to make that fuel pop. And spark is probably the next easier one to check.
Yeah.
And so he said he checked the spark plugs, but it was hard for him to check the spark plugs because it's hard to crank the engine over and look at the spark plugs.
Yes, it is.
And so I went over there the next day or 2 days from then, and we started tinkering with it, and we started checking ohms and resistance and playing with things, and you know, like
connectivity checks.
Connectivity checks. He bought a new Dizzy, new distributor, new plugs, and new wires.
Gotcha.
And a new coil.
And a new coil pack. Okay.
Yeah, and so he's like, still not working. And I was like, okay, hold on. So and I went through the basics. Like, let me see if it's sparking at the spark plug.
Yep.
Okay, no spark. Let me see if the distributor is turning. Okay, it's turning. Let me see if you're getting spark out of the coil.
Yeah.
No spark, no electricity coming out of the coil. Okay. Then we unplugged the cord from the coil and we checked
into the coil.
The coil. Yeah. Are you getting power? Yes, you are.
Oh.
Okay, what's happening here? You know, and everything looked good.
Okay.
Everything, like, minus the fact that we weren't getting spark.
Yeah.
But everything to the coil looked good. And so really that led us to believe that the controller unit that sits on top of the coil went bad somehow.
Gotcha.
And it's like
I thought the controller unit that sits on top of the coil comes with the coil when you buy that.
No, there's the coil slips into this little carrier below it.
Gotcha.
It's a separate unit.
Okay.
The coil's like $20.
Yeah. Okay.
The controller unit's like $450.
Oh. Okay.
Right. And so I was like, I bet you I have one of those on Becky.
Probably.
Because I know I have the same round connectors that he had, not like little ones. And so I went home and looked at Becky and I had one.
Nice.
And it said, you know, I gave it to him and I said, check it, see if it works, you know, then we'll figure something out. And he went back to his house and said he checked it with the multimeter and then plugged it all in and it fired right up.
Nice.
Yep. So
cool.
So figured that out. So that's good.
Nice.
He still has a few things that he needs to get together for his axles before he can get it drivable. But glad we were able to figure out the motor problem.
Yeah.
So that's a bonus.
Yeah.
Now I need to figure out how to either get my part back or some sort of compensation.
Yeah. $450, please.
Yeah. Something like that. I don't know. I mean,
do you have anything you need signed off?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Just approve my smog notice.
Yeah. Right. Oh man. Cool. You know, that's really good because I was talking with him going back and forth because I love troubleshooting the 22RE. It's such a simple motor.
It is. Yeah.
Air, spark, and fuel. And it's really easy to diagnose those three things. And then I guess compression as well.
Right.
But, so like, it's really easy to diagnose all those things on a 22RE. And so going through and trying to figure out what's going on, I was like, oh yeah, we'll just, you know, hold the spark plug to the block and see if it sparks, and then just work your way up line from that.
Pretty much what we did. Yep.
And that's exactly what you guys did, and it worked. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And that the problem was that once you got up to the coil, that's when you're like, okay, everything looks good, and measuring back on the cable, like, okay, are there fuses? Are there, relays? Like what's going on? And we went back, trying to find line, track it through. I brought my wire diagram book.
Oh yeah.
And so we were like going all the way back, and everything looked good. Like even the fuses were good and everything. So we're like, okay, so something from here, between here and there is bad.
Yeah.
Something's going on.
Yeah.
And so we were just like, let's just try this.
Yeah.
Like, let me go home. Let me get the piece. Let me try it.
Yeah. What we had to do, cause when we did, we did my head gasket in the first gen 4Runner right before it was stolen. We ended up, tearing everything apart, put it all back together, and it wouldn't run. It wouldn't kick over, and we couldn't figure out why. And turns out it was the wire, going to the coil pack.
Oh yeah.
That wasn't getting a signal for whatever reason. The coil pack wasn't receiving a signal.
Interesting.
And so we did connectivity tests from the back of the ECU, the pin out, the plug that plugs into the ECU. We figured out which wire was that one that goes over to the coil pack, and did a connectivity test from that to there, and it wasn't working. Like there was no connectivity. So the wire was broken somewhere, and it turns out that's the wire that gets routed right over your exhaust on the 22RE.
Yeah.
And just over time, it had gotten so hot that it made the wire brittle. And I guess we moved it in just the right way that it broke the wire while we were doing the head gasket. But that's how we found it. It was just having to backtrace everything. And
yeah, it's funny running through, because I have the factory Toyota manuals for a 91 truck.
Okay.
Right. For Bobcat.
Yep.
And I brought them because it's the same engine, but less vacuum hoses.
Yeah.
And so, but it was interesting running through like the troubleshooting steps inside the manual, and I was like, check this. When it's idling, do this. And we're like, well, we can't get it to idle. So it's gotta be something above this.
Yeah.
But we were doing everything, and it was like that next line said coil's bad. And we're like, we put the coil, like a new coil in. And so that's what made us go, oh, maybe it's the control unit for the coil or whatever. We opened that thing all the way up just to like look at the inside to see if like, is a wire broken inside? Is a fuse or a solder connection come off or look bad? And even it looked good. So I don't, not sure what, failed on
Interesting,
it. But, it is an 85 4Runner.
Yeah.
So
30 years old, man. That'll happen. Cool. Well, I'm glad you got 4Runner Dave up and running. I want to see him out with the new Land Cruiser axles.
Dude, it looks so good.
I really like his stance now.
For some reason, the truck looks lower.
Yes.
Even though
it's not.
It raised.
Yeah.
It got raised.
Yeah.
Ever so. Like the only reason it got raised too is because it went from more or less 36-inch tires to 38-inch tires.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But it's on this, it's mounted in the same spot. He didn't change any of the suspension.
Yeah.
It just went on to bigger tires, but because it's wider and bigger tires, it looks lower for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah. So that's going to be fun to see him back out on the trails and playing around with the new axle setup.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Other than that, let's see. I got in parts finally.
Yay!
For the 4Runner. So for Kermit, his crawl box rebuild kit is in. I've got all new gears, all new bearings, all new gaskets. So I just need to kind of go through and put it all back together in my abundance of spare time. And my goal is to sit down this Saturday and see if I can get it all done on Saturday.
Cool.
And so hopefully by Saturday evening, I'll have Kermit back up and running.
Nice.
We'll see if that happens or not. I'm not sure. In the meantime, though, while Kermit's been down, whenever I get an extra, hour, half an hour to an hour to play around, I'll go in and do something to him. So turns out while I was pulling the T case and the dual cases out of Kermit, I smashed the fuel lines, the hard lines.
Oh, really?
That are on the bottom of the cab that route right above the T case.
Yep.
And so turns out on the first gen, I had the transfer case brake. So Jake bought my first gen. Check this out. I don't know if he's changed it or not, but I had that transfer case brake, the rotor there would come in contact with the fuel lines, those two hard lines, which is the return and the evap line. And so with this one, apparently...
Did you grind down the fuel lines to make room for clearance?
I did, yeah. No. But I did notice that there was wear marks on the fuel lines. And
That's
so
bad.
this one, I mean, with the dual cases, things just line up where they get really close to the T cases, those fuel lines. And so I was like, that's a really bad spot to have those routed. And so I cut out all the hard lines on the bottom side of Kermit.
Wow.
Not the line that goes on the frame rail.
Okay.
So there's a frame rail line. I left that one, which is the main line to go out to the fuel rails in the engine. I cut out the return line and the evap line, and I rerouted them using rubber fuel line, essentially.
Okay.
So it's the reinforced, I forget what it's called. It's the one I just used to go from my air intake to my crankcase that I had to replace for the 3-4 swap. So I put those in and rerouted those in a safer spot, a better spot, and cranked it over and ran the engine there in the garage with the door open.
Nice.
For a little bit until gear oil started pouring out of my transmission. And then I was like, okay, got to shut it off. So that's all up and running and working now just fine. The fuel lines are holding great. I put on a new headlight.
Oh.
So my headlight that you broke.
Which one?
The passenger side headlight.
When did I break it?
When you rolled me over in Moab. I'm just blaming
the corner light.
Well, so it broke the corner light, but then it also when it broke that, it broke the support for the adjustment on the headlight. So ever since Moab, I've been driving around.
Sorry.
Yeah, I figured you'd be like that. Ever since Moab, I've been driving around with my passenger side headlight just pointing straight at the ground.
Not blinding anyone that way.
I know, right? At least they're pointing downwards. But I just essentially used my light bar for headlights on Kermit whenever I was driving around, until I smashed my light bar pushing Samurai James off of being centered on a rock.
True.
So
then you only had one headlight.
So I only had one headlight essentially, yeah. And so the Sunraider guy that brought his Sunraider over, who worked on his exhaust, he found me a second gen stock headlight housing.
Oh, nice.
That was in great condition. So
cool.
I swapped that in, and it seems to be working just fine. So I'm happy again now. I have two headlights again.
Yeah, you wouldn't know because you haven't driven it.
I know, right? I'm still in the garage. I'm like,
it's sitting in the garage, fine.
Yeah. And so the last thing I did was I put on, I got a couple of essentially ditch lights. They're just yellow amber cube lights.
Okay.
And that most people will use for like ditch lights. But I got them for camp lights on the 4Runner. So on the back of Kermit, above the rear window, I have like this metal spoiler almost thing, but it has no purpose to act like a spoiler at all. I don't know why it's there. But it's there. And so I used that and attached a couple of these little square yellow lights to.
Cool.
And those things are fucking bright.
They look bright. He sent that photo over. Like, oh gosh.
Yeah, I didn't send the photo over. I turned it on from my garage at nighttime and it lights up the entire field across from my house.
Oh, dang.
Just those two little lights. I was like, okay, yeah, that'll work for camp lights.
Yeah, that'll be sufficient to light up everything.
Yeah.
And attract all the bugs.
Yeah. The problem with second gen 4Runners is that they don't have a hatch.
You're right.
Like the tailgate doesn't open like a hatch. It opens down like a tailgate. So
Yes.
the window has to come down into the tailgate and then open down. So there's no good way to really run wiring back there to get to the outside of the vehicle. And so Lee Lim, Mr. Camping car prepper that he is, he gave me a link to a really cool bulkhead fitting for wiring that's used on boats and RVs a lot, apparently. And so what it is it's you cut a hole in your roof or whatever surface you're going through, and then put the flange surface, I guess, connect that bolted into your roof. So I used riv nuts, yes, because you can bolt into them, right?
Yeah.
So riv nuts, and secured the flange surface part to my roof with the riv nuts, with a gasket underneath, the rubber gasket that they supply. And then on top of that goes this like chunk of rubber. And it's just a chunk of rubber about yay big, 3 inches long and 3/4 of an inch wide. But then it's like 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch thick. And what you do is you drill a hole in the rubber and run your line through it. And then you put it down into the flange surface, and then you connect the top part of the flange surface to it. And as you bolt the two flange surfaces together, it squeezes the rubber around your wires that you put in
interesting.
there. So I put that on and ran that, and that turned out really clean. And it works really well to run the wiring to the outside of the rig. So now I have a bulkhead pass through for the back out exterior of the rig if I want to do other fun stuff with the little useless rack on top of the rig now.
Yeah. So you're kind of like lights before or T cases.
Yeah, you don't need a T case to go wheeling. You need lights though. Come on. So anyways, I got those projects done. And then while I was getting the parts from Morgan over at Sidetracked Off-Road, my drug dealer, he got in some new light bars.
Oh.
So he got in his normal flood light bars. He's got spotlight bars. He's got flood spot combos. And he got in a laser flood combo.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you were talking about this after you broke yours.
After I broke mine, exactly. He said he was getting those in. I was like, well, hook it up to your rig and let me know how they work. Because if the laser part of it is like, a 5 or 6 inch diameter spotlight that goes just 2 or 3 miles out, it's useless.
Right.
Because you're not going to be able to see anything in that 5 to 6 inch diameter. Because I know that the Baja Design lasers, that's like essentially how they work. They're just a 6 foot, maybe a 6 inch to a foot beam of light that goes out, and it doesn't spread at all.
Yeah.
But it goes on for like miles, which is really cool. And I was like, if that's what it is, I don't want it. I want something that's going to, spread out to, I'd be happy with like a 15 to 20 foot spread over 1 to 2 miles, something like that.
Okay.
And that's pretty much exactly what it ended up being.
Oh, wow.
And so he sent me a couple pictures from up in the Ice House Reservoir area where he had 3/4 to a mile of road in front of him, and it lights up everything down at the end of the road within like a 15 to 20 foot diameter. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then the flood works pretty well too.
I'll take one.
So I picked one up, so I'm going to install that and get that up and running hopefully on Saturday as well.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyways, Kermit's coming along. He's almost ready to get back together and out enjoying just in time for the snow.
Maybe.
So
we'll see. See how much we might possibly get this weekend.
Yeah. Snow level is supposed to get down to about 6,500, 6,000 feet, somewhere right around there this weekend. So I'm excited. And that'll be really neat because last time I had Kermit out was in the snow.
True.
And then the weather hasn't done shit since then. So I might be able to get Kermit out back in the next first snow or the next snow, I guess. So
yep.
Yeah, I'm
cool.
excited.
Good.
So that's about does it for me and updates and what I've been doing and what we've had going on and things we've been getting to play with and people we've been getting to go see, not the other way around.
Right.
So yeah.
I just have one more little update.
Okay.
The limited release t-shirts are available on the website SnailTrail4x4.com.
Yeah, buddy.
So these shirts are only available until the end of the month. And then I'm taking the listing down and I'm going to make however many shirts that plus one or two maybe for you and I.
Nice.
And maybe one for B. Murphy. So 3.
He's got to get one.
Yeah, he's got to get one. So I'm going to make 3 extra.
Nice.
And that's it. So if you want to get in on this limited release, go sign up there now.
How much are they?
I think I have them for $25.
Okay, that's a
good price. And then
price.
if you get up to like XXX or XXX, I think they go up a few bucks.
Okay.
And for the most part, it's money back. You can get 100% refundable until I place the order.
Oh, nice.
So if it's something that you change your mind on in a little bit, then you can have your money back until like the first week of January when I place the order for the shirts.
Cool.
So yeah. So just throwing that out there. If you're interested in getting one of these limited release shirts,
cool.
Go for it.
And that's over at SnailTrail4x4.com.
Yep.
Under the shop, correct?
It's under the shop, or it's the, like, if you scroll down, I think there's a little bit of the, like, who is SnailTrail4x4, and then there used to be a photo for Snail Armor. I replaced that photo with a link to the shirts.
Oh,
so
perfect.
it's the first thing pretty much as you scroll down on the homepage.
Okay, cool. Yeah, everybody go check those out. They're only going to be around here for another 20 days or so.
Yeah, a few weeks.
20, 21 days. So check those out if you wanted to get one. They make great shirts for stocking stuffers as well for the holidays. So
Yeah, except they won't be made by then.
yeah, they won't be made, but you can give
an IOU.
An IOU.
Yep.
I have a feeling there's going to be a few IOUs being given this year for the holidays.
Probably due to shipping and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? But I like the design. I think the design's pretty cool.
Yeah, I really like the design. I think it came out really nice. So, cool. Go check those out. Updates on the Morphlate side of stuff. We got way more orders than I was anticipating for Black Friday. So
Bummer.
Just be patient, please, as orders go out. We are our typical capacity for getting orders out the door has been about 60 to 70 a week, and we're currently pumping out about 150 to 200 a week for just getting orders out the door. So we've increased capacity to pretty much over what we can be doing, and so that's just be patient. We're trying to get them out. There is going to be some that are not going to get their Morphlate orders by Christmas. Just giving you guys a heads up. Once I know who those are, I will send emails out to everybody so you guys are aware. But yeah, just be patient. There's a lot going on, and we are working as hard as we can to get everything out. So, yeah.
It's a bummer to hear, but it's sad to hear that somebody might not get their order by Christmas, but it's good news to hear that Morphlate's doing so well.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, that's just the Black Friday is going to allow Morphlate to step up and do some other really cool stuff in the future here. So I have a couple meetings at King of the Hammers that I've planned that are going to involve Morphlate's future.
Cool.
So, yeah, it's going to be really neat. Some of the stuff that we have launching over the next, 1 to 4 months, depending on shipping logistics.
Right.
So huge thank you to everybody that has supported Morphlate, and the podcast has been a big part of that as well. So yeah, it's really cool to see everything kind of growing, and all the support that everybody's giving myself and Jimmy and everything that we got going on in our back end. So not like that though. Don't look at me like that. Oh man, anything else for everybody out there? Any final words?
4 doors.
And with that, my friends, keep crawling.
Do you know how you avoid taking down Christmas lights?
You don't put them up?
Yeah, that's one way, I guess.
That's what my strategy is.
There you go. No, you just turn your house into an Italian restaurant.
Oh. Okay.